Have you ever wondered how councils make it a developer's responsibility to provide and maintain public infrastructure? In this video, I'll describe the most commonly used technique by council to guarantee developers provide infrastructure, the 173 agreement. And at the end of this video, I'll share 2 insider tips that will save you time and money if you're required to enter one of these agreements. Firstly, a brief disclaimer. 173 agreements are not the only method used to ensure infrastructure is delivered in tandem with things like housing. But if you're a developer doing an infill development in the middle ring suburbs of Melbourne, it's very likely you're going to be obliged to sign a 173 agreement with council. So, what are they? They are contracts of agreement that outline what council consider must be constructed for the development to be satisfactorily completed. They are registered on property titles as restrictions and appear in every section 32, similar to a mortgage. They run with the land and not the individuals or the companies that create them. They can run in perpetuity, or they can also have a sunset clause for their expiry. Typical examples of items council want developers to cover via 173 agreements are stormwater infrastructure, crossover construction, landscaping outcomes, but every 173 agreement is site and proposal specific, and there are no fixed rules about what infrastructure or outcomes are to be provided. Developers won't be required to enter into agreements to provide these things to obtain their planning approval, but rather it will be a condition of an approved planning permit that this agreement be created. At the start of this video, I mentioned 2 tips that could save you a lot of time and money if you're required to enter one of these agreements. Here's the first. You must ask your assessing council planner before the planning permit issues if you're going to be required to enter a 173 agreement. Council typically won't share with applicants that it will be a condition of an approval to enter a 173 agreement. And when this happens, developers can be blindsided when they see the permit. By proactively raising it before the permit issues, you have an opportunity to get across what your obligations are likely to be and possibly renegotiate some of those things if they're onerous. The second tip relates to the creation of these agreements post-planning approval. Most applicants will engage a law firm that they have an established working relationship with to prepare the 173 agreement in line with the conditions of approval. This is a perfectly acceptable practice and commonly done. However, councils don't have an internal legal team to review these agreements when they get lodged for approval. They outsource the task to law firms. It is not hard to find out who the law firm is that council use, and if you can engage that firm to prepare the agreement from the outset, it will save you time and money. Sometimes this option won't be available because of a conflict of interest it creates for the law firm, but for smaller, less contentious developments, it's commonly done and a good option. The obligation on applicants to create and enter into 173 agreements post-planning approval is commonplace, but unfortunately blindsides a lot of people. The best thing you can do is proactively engage with council to see if this condition is likely to form part of your approval, so that you can possibly negotiate the terms. If you have an application where you expect that a condition of approval might be to enter a 173 agreement, then reach out to our team for a friendly conversation about the specifics, and we'll be happy to provide advice about your options.